Hi, my name is Pamela Quinn, and I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel where we talk about all things yoga. Today's video is specifically made for people who are either interested in owning a yoga studio or who own yoga studios. And the question is, should I rent? So I'm sitting in what I just finished remodeling myself. So this is a rehab that I own that I'm going to rent to a renter. I thought it was the perfect place to film this video because I have been in business for, I think, maybe 14, 15 years now, owning yoga studio systems. And it wasn't until I started buying buildings and running my studios out of the buildings that I got into a much more safe and comfortable position financially. So I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm in the Midwest, and yoga, quite honestly, is saturated here. We have over 50 yoga studios, and not to mention, yoga is offered at gyms, community centers, parks, breweries, at work. It's everywhere. So a lot of days I get up and I feel like I'm trying to sell pencils, and pencils are basically free everywhere or included everywhere. So I've had to get really, really smart to stay in business here in Cincinnati. When you look at your financial well-being from a yoga studio ownership perspective, you're looking at hopefully maybe having 200 members, and maybe each member is spending about $1,000 a year with you, so that's about $200,000. Probably half of that is going to go to your instructors in the form of payroll, and to the people who are helping you out, whether it's legal or accountant, professional fees, et cetera, et cetera. And then the next biggest line item is rent. Here in Cincinnati, if you're renting, especially like in a strip mall, you're going to be paying, if you're really lucky but you're at a bad location, maybe $1,600 a month. To get a good location, you're looking at rent of like $14 to $22 per square foot. And in a yoga studio, you need at least 2,000 square feet. So your rent is going to be maybe $3,500 up to $4,500. Multiply that by 10, and you're giving your landlord a salary of, we'll say, $40,000 to $50,000 a year that you could actually be giving to yourself. And I know all of you could use that because, let's face it, this is a very competitive business, and it really is difficult to make, even a living wage. So my suggestion to you is to never, never, ever rent. We just closed a studio because we were in a strip mall. The rent was way too high. If you're in a strip mall, you get into a situation called triple net lease. That means anything that goes wrong is on you. So I took the lease over from a different yoga studio, and before that it was a different yoga studio. So the HVAC systems on our roof were 20 years old. I had a 3-month period 2 years ago where both of them went out, and let me tell you, those things aren't cheap. So that was a $16,000 investment that I had to make into a building that wasn't even mine. So I got really, really lucky this year, and I got out of that lease. In 2015, I bought the building that's next to us in Montgomery, Ohio, and that is our yoga studio. My landlord passed away, and I was lucky to be able to buy the building. And I was able to buy the building with the help of the SBA. Now, the SBA, Small Business Administration, will tell you that they do not lend money to buy property. They lend money for you to create jobs. Yoga studios 1099 everyone, so we have independent contractors, so we're not really creating jobs. But they're starting to do it. They gave me a loan. And the great thing with the SBA is they want to give money to small businesses. They want to give money to women and minority-owned small businesses. With a Small Business Administration loan, you only have to put 10% down. So let's say your property costs $400,000. You only have to put $40,000 down, and of course there's some fees in there as well. So now you're looking at a $350,000 mortgage, and we'll just call that, $2,000 a month to be simple. You could be paying $2,000 a month for your mortgage, or you could be paying $3,500 to $4,500 a month to a landlord. So you see there's savings there. Now here's the key. So when I bought that Montgomery building next to me, I also bought this building, so it's all on the same lot. This building I rent, and this building I can rent for so much that it actually covers my mortgage payment. And then within my yoga studio, I also rent. So I have a room in the lower level that we can use for massage and healing. I have the floor upstairs, when it's empty, we rent that out for Alexander Technique and Thai Yoga Massage, but all of those are just, you know, liquid gold in the little pot of yoga, right? I own another building in Mason. It's an old church that I rehabbed. It's absolutely stunning. I have a renter there. I now have 2 renters there, actually. And then again, I'm able to use the floor to rent for other things. Like we're even thinking about starting to do micro weddings there. So that's a whole nother revenue stream. Now, the other thing about owning businesses or owning buildings as part of your business is it's incredible write-offs. So you get to amortize, you get to depreciate. When your accountant does your taxes, you're going to end up that you're just owing a lot less taxes because you own the buildings. Now, there are some pitfalls. I mean, the pitfalls are, you know, you need a lawyer to write a lease. Pitfalls are you have a tenant, you know. So make sure when you choose your tenants, they're symbiotic. They're in a good relationship with what you're already offering. So like this is a whole building. It's 1,000 square feet. It couldn't have been a yoga studio, but it would have been silly for me to rent it to, let's say, a massage therapist who also wanted to use part of the room to do like small yoga sessions or private yoga lessons, because that's kind of, you know, that's my business, right? So you don't want the businesses to conflict on any level. So make sure that's very clear. Make sure you understand about renter's insurance, getting people the right insurance, kind of forcing that on their hand. They usually don't know. I try to partner really well with our renters. So like I try to, you know, if it's a massage therapist, I try to push them out through our website and, you know, put posters and flyers and whatnot and try to get them some business. I'm probably doing less and less of that just because, you know, you know, you can't always count on people to, will say, hold up their end, and you're putting a lot of effort in, and then maybe, you know, somebody else isn't putting their effort in. So the relationship part, I think that can be just a little bit tricky if the boundaries aren't clear. And when I say clear, you know, you have to have a really, really clear, proper lease and proper boundaries established on the outside. The other drawback is, like this building, I just finished remodeling it. Before I tore it apart and I had to demolish the entire interior, like a total demo. It was a vet, and the vet had been here for 20 years, and I can't describe to you the shape that this building was in. So, you know, it's good on the one hand, the vet was here for 20 years, and I did benefit from that for a few years because I inherited him. But then after he left, I did have to put a ton of money into the building, and it's going to take me 2 years to actually get that investment back. So those are things, you know, that you do need to think about, but I am telling you, if you want to do this for a living, if you want to be able to relax a little bit better in the evening, if you want to not worry about your finances so much, I would definitely consider purchasing a property, an investment for you that you can also rent to others to pay your mortgage and yourself and no longer pay a landlord. I hope this is helpful. I love working with small business owners. I work with a lot of them, yoga studio owners here in Cincinnati. Usually people wait too late. They call me when they're trying to decide to close their studio or not. I would say call me before you open the studio, and then call me year 1 or year 2 when your cash flow isn't exactly where you want it to be yet. And, you know, I can see a lot of things on people's schedules or their pricing models, just things, you know, that they could tweak and they're going to do a lot better. So all of my contact information is below. Reach out to me. I love to work with you guys, and I love to answer your questions. And do please like, subscribe, comment below. And have a great day. Bye.